Hey folks, welcome to another Fighters Versus. We're changing the format a little bit this time around, but more on why we're doing that at the end of the video. Our goal today is to replicate one of the most epic battles in Dragon Ball Z. We're going into the future timeline where the androids now rule over Earth, and the fate of humanity rests within a single warrior. The future is at stake! It's Trunks versus the androids. In this video, we'll look at the strengths and the weaknesses of each character, but unlike our previous video, we're not gonna split them into different categories like zoning, combos, mix-up, and we're not gonna give anyone some points. Instead, we're gonna look at both of these characters as a whole and let you guys know what value they're bringing into a team, as well as theorize who would fare better in a 1v1 fight. And as usual, at the end of the video, we have an actual duel between these two characters. Cool? So let's jump right in. When we talk about Trunks and Android 18, we're talking about two characters that are very good at getting past an opponent's defense. They have a few mix-up options in their arsenal that when used properly can confuse even the most expert of players, but their styles for doing so are fairly different. First up, the androids are two characters. 18 can call 17 to do a variety of attacks, be it melee combos or ki blasts. The android twins can put on a lot of pressure and look for openings comfortably. While 17 is attacking, 18 is able to look for a different angle to strike. And even if 18 isn't looking for a different angle, 17 on his own has a couple of different options on how to approach the enemy. On the other hand, Trunks has an ability called the Cyclone Buster, which allows him to get in and out of range really fast. And this is really good because Trunks can do it at the end of a combo, in the middle of a combo, or just randomly at any time. And the opponent never really knows when to counterattack. Plus, he can also interrupt this move in mid-air to shoot down a ki blast. So when you start to get too predictable with this move, you can also change it up. And let's not forget the Shining Slash, which is another of Trunks' abilities that not only has an insane range, it's an overhead attack, so crouching enemies are never safe anywhere on the stage. So there you have it, two very strong characters at mixing up an opponent, both with very different styles of mix-up. And that really is these characters' greatest strength. However, they also share a weakness, which is not being the best character in the roster to finish an opponent off. They both have a level 1 ki blast, however, it's used in very different situations, and they also have a level 3 super that deals big damage, with Trunks being a command grab and the androids lunging horizontally with relatively short range. But neither of these characters are the best at finishing off an opponent. There are just other characters in the current roster who are better at combos and they're able to deal a lot more damage to an opponent with their finishing supers. They just make better use of the meter they have. For instance, let's look at one of the tools unique to Android 18, the barrier. This is also her assist attack. So whether you use 18's barrier from the assist position or the active position, she absorbs pretty much any attack and turns it into meter. However, after absorbing the meter, 18 is not the best character to use it. You'll be dealing a lot more damage if you're able to unleash a level 5 with Gohan or a 5 Destructo Disc Barrage with Krillin. And the same goes for Trunks. Neither of these characters are great finishers, which can make the decision to include them both in your team a little bit questionable, unless you're okay with dealing just a little bit of damage at a time, because both of these characters really are good at opening up an opponent. So if you're fighting against someone who is very good defensively, that might be value in choosing a team with both characters. But ideally, what you'll want to do is use one of these characters to open up an opponent and then follow up a combo with another character, someone who is better at making use of that meter that you've built up so they can finish with big damage. I feel both of these characters occupy kind of the same slot in a team, so it really comes down to which style do you prefer. Do you prefer Trunks' jump in and out style of mix-up, or do you prefer the pressure style of Android 18 with 17 as an assist? It's interesting to think about both of these characters in a 1v1 setting because they really have similar strengths and weaknesses. From a distance, they have similar options, Trunks with a Masenko and 18 with a Destructo Disc. Both can close in the distance fairly easily, be it Trunks with the Shining Slash or the Cyclone Buster, or 18 by having 17 cover her with Ki Blast or a melee combo while she moves. So the winner really comes down to who makes the most mistakes, who's able to trick their opponent or pressure them to drop their guard. In a 1v1 scenario, we're working with only one health bar, so supers are going to be very important, and I'd say 18 probably has Trunks beat in that field. Both can reliably hit with their level 1, but I think Trunks level 3 is a lot harder to connect than Android 18's. So the androids might have the advantage here. Trunks is also a little bit limited in the air, as most of his abilities outside of the Shining Slash, you really really can't do much while in the air, and Android 18 can use the barrier as well as the support attack while in midair, but the advantage that gives 18 might not be that significant. I really think it comes down to whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, so let's get to the fight and see how it goes. Because Dragon Ball FighterZ doesn't have a dedicated 1v1 game mode, we went into a match, killed off every character, and made sure that when Trunks and the androids faced off, they both have 7 bars a meter and Sparking Blast still available. I'd say both players are pretty much on the same skill level. We played the whole beta together, and I honestly couldn't tell you who came out on top during that whole period. But in today's fight, there can only be one winner.
スーパーサイヤ人の壁、その先を俺はさらに越えてしまった。続きやんの17号やつらだ。今度は本気でやらせてもらうぞ。でも知らんぞ。俺はそう簡単にはあかんぞ。
So I lost all 3 matches. Ian Rin again won them. He's a friend of mine and he also edits some of the videos here on TGN Anime in case you're curious about who is this guy. But he played 2 matches as Trunks, so I guess Trunks won this time. But it went exactly how we both thought it would. The player who made the last amount of mistakes won. Pure and simple. This was a very balanced match. These 2 characters have very similar strengths despite having very different styles. So we really didn't feel like someone had an unfair advantage. Thank you for watching another episode of FighterZ. I've been reading some of your comments. I know some of you guys are not happy with some aspects of this show, and that's why I decided to change it. And also, it's not doing great here on the channel. It's one of the series that has the least amount of views here on TGN Anime, so I decided to test out something different. So we'll do this test once again next week, and if it doesn't work, we might drop the FighterZ series. We had a lot of fun recording 1v1 battles, but if you don't like the way we're presenting them, we'll just post them as normal gameplay in the future. It's gonna be easier for me as I don't have to analyze the character so much. And if you like it better, then I guess everyone wins, right? But if you are a fan of the series, make sure to let me know in the comments. And here's last week's episode right there at the top in case you missed it. It's father versus son, Vegeta versus Trunks. Go check it out. And if you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Boy!